Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making mole. This is the way I like making it. This is the chicken that I use. Of course, it's boneless. I have about 6 pieces of it. I have about a quarter of an onion, small onion, and also garlic. Really like using garlic. I'm going to be using black pepper, some salt, some ground cumin, some peanut butter, and of course the main ingredient, the mole sauce, Doña Maria. This is the kind that I use. There's also the alternate kind that comes in a bottle. That one's a little bit different, but this one is pretty much ready to go. And then I also like using half a bar of Hershey's milk chocolate. You want to get that, of course, without the almonds. You can also use cocoa powder, but this gives it a little bit of sweetness to it. So anyway, here we go. So for this part, of course, do it how you prefer. You can boil the chicken if you want, or do it this way. I like grilling it. So anyway, to start out with, I'm going to set the stove to almost halfway. I don't know if you can see it there. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of oil, not too much. Kind of move it around a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and just start putting the chicken. And you can season it first, of course, before doing this, but that's fine. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, some ground cumin, and a little bit of salt. Okay, and so I'm going to let that sit for maybe about 6 minutes. Of course, it's still warming up. And then I'm going to flip it over after those 6 minutes, let it cook for maybe like another 4 to 5 minutes. And then we're going to take this out of the pan, and then I'll start with the mole sauce. I like to use the same pan because, of course, it has like the flavor of the chicken, and it just kind of like fuses together, and it'll have a better flavor all around. Okay, so while the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and just get this ready. We're not using it just yet, but just showing you how you kind of lift these little flabs up, and then you're gonna just go ahead and I use kitchen scissors, just go ahead and cut it. Of course, you don't want to do this over the stove. Don't burn yourself. But anyway, so that's what it looks like. It is delicious. I'll set this to the side. Okay, so it's been about 6 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and just flip the chicken. At this point, we don't want it getting fully cooked because we are going to let this simmer in the mole sauce when we get that ready. So I'm going to add a little bit more pepper to this side, a little bit of cumin. I mean, you can add whatever you want. If you want to put garlic powder, onion powder, I mean, that's totally optional. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start flipping this over. Just one more time. Okay. It's been about 4 minutes on that side. I'm going to let it sit for maybe like another minute before I take it out. So at this point, it's not fully cooked, probably in the center, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just take it out. You want the chicken to stay nice and soft. because it is going to continue to cook in the sauce, or it's going to simmer in the sauce. So I'm taking it out for now. Just going to set it to the side. At this point, of course, you can always, chop it up if you want, or just leave it like that. I like to leave it in just these 6 pieces. So I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to set the stove on medium, just make it a little bit hotter, and just show you what I'm doing over here on this side. So I have the quarter onion and 2 cloves of garlic chopped, and I have my half piece of the Hershey's bar, and I have about a tablespoon of peanut butter, and then the mole sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding everything in. So the first thing that I'm going to add is the onions. Now, of course, all of this is optional. If you wanted to throw just the mole sauce, you could do that. But I'm throwing in the onion. Takes a little bit longer to cook. Okay, but this pan is really hot right now, so it's not going to take that long for it to cook. Then I'm going to throw in my garlic. And you want to do this quick because the garlic is going to cook very quickly. You don't want it to burn. I'm going to go ahead and add the mole sauce. The peanut butter. And then the chocolate. Okay, just break it up a little bit. I'm going to reduce the heat to about maybe like a quarter of the heat. Okay, so this already smells amazing. So you're not going to add any more moisture at this point. You do want to break up the chocolate and the peanut butter. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. Okay, but at this point you don't want to have it at the medium setting, but you do want everything to melt and blend together nicely before you set it to a simmer with the chicken in it. And that's a good thing about this one that comes in a box. I mean, you don't really have to do anything to it. You don't have to add any water to it. So this one I do prefer. And also, if you're trying to make dinner in a hurry, this is a much better option. It's a lot easier, a lot faster. Okay, so I don't want too much of the moisture evaporating, so you could let that sit a little bit longer, but at this point I'm just going to go ahead and add the chicken. And I like to just kind of coat it a little bit. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cover it. I'm going to go ahead and set the stove to a simmer. I'm just going to put it very low. And I'm going to let that sit for maybe about another 15-20 minutes. I'll go ahead and check on it. So at this point, I like making the rice. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes to make. And I like using the box, pouring water in there, just, mixing it up a little bit and getting some of that flavor already. uh, on the Mexican rice or the Spanish rice that I like making. So that's another like little tip that I have. Okay, so it's been maybe about 25 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and just remove the lid. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off the heat. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip the chicken over, just for good measure. And the sauce is kind of runny right now. Of course, you know, it is really hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of coat it again. And as it cools down, of course, it'll thicken up a little bit. Okay, so of course the match is off at this point, and I'm gonna let it sit for maybe another 10 minutes. I'm also making rice at the same time, so you know it'll be ready to, you know, I'll be able to serve it at the same time.